Welcome back, everybody, and good, I think it's morning. Let's see, is this sun rising or not? Well, our next mission is going to be an unmanned mission, and I'm going to come in here and build us a quick probe and just get some science from around Kerbal, because now we have our first, the Sputnik, our first unmanned probe. So we're going to start off with the probe body. I'm going to drop a fuel tank onto it. I'm going to put a little tiny engine on it. That gives us almost enough to get into orbit already. A single antenna on it. There's not really any point in putting multiples because I don't plan on any science experiments, because I don't plan on actually recovering this. This is going to be our major effort. I'm going to try to balance this right on top of the Sputnik. Maybe that won't be like the absolute worst thing. It's not totally centered on there. Kind of cheat and put this off to the side a little bit. It's okay, I guess. There we go. Or maybe I'll balance it out by putting this over here, and then I can rotate it so that in my mind it will create less drag, even though I don't think the game is going to take that into account, and it's still a ridiculously shaped craft. But I don't think that I have... I could have put all that stuff in a service bay, I suppose. We need some electrical, so I'm just going to drop 6 batteries on there, because I want to get as much science as we can. And then I'm going to put a single SRB on there, and I'm going to get its thrust to weight ratio down to about 1.7. And this is not going to be called an upgoer because it is unmanned. We are going to call it a go rounder. And I've forgotten that this probe does not have a built-in antenna on it, so I don't even have any way to, no connection to send command on. Alright, we're going to recover this, and here we are. Now we're going to put a working antenna on there. This is the one with the 1.5 million mile. You know what, I can just put this on here and leave this off, and that ought to be good. I really wish we had solar panels, but we just don't. So I'm going to go ahead and save this and try this again. Alright, here we go. Activating the probe, and open up our science alert. What a pleasant time of day. What a beautiful time to launch a rocket. We're going to get kind of an artificial sunrise here. Man, Scatterer is just doing gorgeous things with those mountains. Nice halo effect on the sun. Now I have a lot of visual mods on here, and at some point I will probably go through and talk about all the different mods that I use. I don't even remember the names of a lot of them. But I tried to pick out all the mods that make the game harder, and all the mods that make the game prettier, or at least a lot of them. And I think I've gotten pretty good results. I'm very happy with what the game looks like. And I do have an 8 GB video card, so I've got plenty of memory to hold a lot of textures and stuff. I'm not sure how much of it the game is actually using. I know that the game is pushing about 12 gigabytes of my system RAM as it stands now. Wow, that SRB almost worked out exactly perfectly. I mean, it got us up to a 95,000 foot or meter the ceiling. Oh, I don't know if there is... may have made a mistake. I don't think there's a gimbal on this. There is no gimbal. I have no way to steer this capsule. Okay, there is nothing that we can do. I'm going to get up into space, and I'm going to be able to radio back a couple, but I can't steer this thing at all because there's no RCS system. There's nothing. So I'm going to get 2.4 science for this entire mission. And we're going to upload it. How much? And that's eating up a lot of power, so I might be able to upload not very much at all. Boy, this is going to be tough. We're going to have to build an aircraft, I think, to get some science from different Kerbal biomes. And I am just going to let this thing fall back to the ground and blow up, because I don't see there's any point in doing anything else, to be honest. I wonder if it will survive re-entry. I mean, at least it's going to go down engine first, so there's a possibility that I could actually land this thing. I've got 3,000. Why is it using up Delta V? Now that's really interesting. Am I falling through? As I'm falling through the atmosphere, I'm using up Delta V. I have no way to steer in any way, shape, or form. But I think I'm going to be able to maybe manage a soft landing in the ocean. It's going to be close, but I'm at 1,000 meters in altitude. I'm still going at, I don't know if 10 seconds is going to be enough. No, it's not. I'm going to hit at least 50 meters a second. Closer to 80. Yeah. Well, that was great. But we made a mistake, and we're going to learn from it. So I do believe that we have access to some reaction wheels that I should have put on the probe, but I didn't. Okay, reaction wheels. Do they exist yet? No, they don't. Excellent. So yeah, we are left with absolutely no way to actually control anything. Well, I think I might have made a mistake then. I think I might have taken the wrong technology last time, because it looks like without aircraft technology we might be hurting. I need 45, or I could just get flight control, and flight control, also costing 45, is going to give us an inline reaction wheel, which I guess I should have gotten instead of the basic science. But I guess the best thing to do at this point would be to try to get some more science. Is there some way that I can get? I'm going to go back to my Upgoer 4, and I'm going to remind myself exactly what's in this thing. Right. I'm not going to need any more of those bathyspheres, but what I can do is I can put a big old telescope in there, and maybe I'll move those thermometers just to make myself feel better. I actually probably could even put them on the outside and get rid of those. I will keep the mystery goo in there just because there's room for it. I'm going to go down to only having 2 of those as well, and I'm just going to try to collect data from some different biomes this time, and I'm actually going to launch as much as I can to the north. I still don't have any way to actually steer while I'm in the atmosphere, but I am going to give myself some more torque, and I'm going to give myself a little bit of radiation shielding. This is one of those things, that the radiation shielding, that makes this game harder. It just makes the all the pods a little bit heavier, and it's one more thing you have to think about when you're building a spacecraft, is how much radiation damage you're doing to your Kerbonauts, because the radiation damage is basically permanent, and eventually it weakens them so much that you can no longer use them for missions. So we're going to go ahead and launch. And instead of going east, I'm going to head north. lots of steering. Get my science alert ready to go there. Man, those clouds are just gorgeous. I encourage everybody to play with clouds. Spend more time looking at clouds, folks. What shapes do you see? I see the shapes of the texture files that are saved in one of those obscure directories. This is called a polar orbit that we are attempting to get into. We have plenty of delta V on this craft, so we should be able to hit a polar orbit fairly easily. It doesn't really want to steer all that well. It'll get easier once we switch over to our Now, one mod that I installed while I was taking a break yesterday was this mod that changes the engine sounds to reflect your altitude in the atmosphere. So engines become almost imperceptible once you are outside the atmosphere, and it's already very, very quiet. However, if you go inside the rocket and look up at the beautiful sky with the actual constellations in it, you get some shaking, and you can hear the engine again. Oh wow, I just took myself up to 230,000 feet. I wasn't paying attention to what I was doing. That's actually not a bad thing, though. We can get even more science. Except that I did not put an antenna on this craft. As you can see, my planning skills are not the sharpest. Well, we got 2.4 science, and that's why we're playing science mode. We have unlimited money, ladies and gentlemen. Unlimited money. Think of what we could do if we had solar panels. So many wonderful things. I'm pretty sure that high Kerbal orbit is 250,000. So I'm going to actually, well, I'll just burn through that. And I will drop in a maneuver node there that will give me a orbit of some type. There we go, 74,000 feet on the far side of the planet, and that means I detach that, start up that engine. What happens if I observe Mercury right now? 0.9 science. Well, let's save it. Fast forward this up to high Kerbal space. Oh, there we go, folks. There we go. There's our science. 6 plus 7 plus 3 plus almost 5. That's encouraging. I don't think it's enough still. Oh, he can take data. I did not know that non-scientists could take data. I guess we can make more telescope observations. That is fantastic. And now he just needs to climb down a little bit, take the data, get back in the pod, and when we're at T minus 30 seconds on the node right now. I'm going to go ahead and, oh, guess I should aim for the node. Start that burn. I got to watch my electric charge so that I don't suffocate out here in space. How's our health doing? So he's taking 644 a day, despite the fact that we put some shielding on this spacecraft. Losing 9 health per day, and he's on 148 health right now. Our life support is good for 2 days and then 2 hours of electricity. There's almost too many. I wonder if it's aligned properly as far as north and south is concerned. Okay, we have a highly elliptical orbit. There's Moho, Duna, Eve, and Gilly over there. Ah, so that must be Cassiopeia. And if you follow Cassiopeia, you should be able to find Andromeda, but I don't see Andromeda. Andromeda should be closer than that. Well, I'm just going to go a little bit farther until we have we're low in space again, and I'm going to get another EVA report and some telescope observations. I guess I need to go the EVA again, take the data. This is going to get a little bit repetitive, but hey, that's what collecting science is all about. This time we'll do only one EVA. This is one of those things that is just really tough to do. It's just kind of monotonous, but that's what we do. This is one of those things that is just really trying to get up to that 45. That's what we do. Closer to that science that we're going to need. Hey, everyone, every single time gets us technology that is going to give us the science to get to the next level. That we can keep progressing, because, like I said, this is ultra hard mode. And I typically can, on just playing the base game, I have been able to get to Elu and all of the moons of Jewel, no problem. I've got at least 3,000 hours in KSP. For a long time, before 1.0 came out, I was playing on the Linux platform so that I could utilize the 64-bit, and none of those hours got logged in Steam, so I don't know exactly how many hours I've been playing, but it's a lot. And I'm looking for giving myself more of a challenge. So I've played through, and I'm looking for giving myself more of a challenge. So I've played through, I've gotten pretty far into a game where I was playing with, but all basically the same mods that you see that I'm using here. And when you start building even before we run out of electric charge, go ahead and close up our science sphere and end this mission to use up all my fuel if I can. See if we can come down into a novel biome and maybe pick up even just a few more points on the ground, because see how quickly this is burning up. Yeah, we'll be fine. Looks like we're going to land in a really nice little area right here. Just slowing down nicely. Gonna open that parachute just as soon as we get through the clouds. Gosh, those things open up at really the last minute, don't they? It looks like there's cows over there, but I'm sure those are just trees. But I'd really like to see some alien life in Kerbal Space Program 2. And alright, well, let's see how much science we got. Did we get enough to get the next technology, whatever it ends up being? Yes, we did. We have 63.5 science earned, which means we can't get electrics. We need 90 for that. But I could get flight control. That would allow us to get to the moon with a probe. Or I could take aviation, but I still can't afford both. I need another 20 science before I can afford both. You know, I think we're going to get the best bang for our buck from flight control and sending a probe to the moon. So that's the one I'm going to go for. And we will see what happens next time. I wish you all the best. If you would click like and subscribe or leave a comment in the comment section, I would surely appreciate it. Thanks all, and be well.